toes in the sand, head in the sea, I don't know, whatever. Optic will indeed start on the CT side, and Oscar gets off to a very good start. He's got 2 players over towards the Ivy position, 1 now because Rox has picked a player off, and Alu will soon follow.
The Deagle on the pistol round. Only a few people are allowed to do that. Oscar is certainly one of them. Oh my god, it's a massacre. They have been slayed, James.
Chris J, he dropped Rox a P250 as well, so he enabled his teammates. Again, we missed it, but I like the change. I don't know if it was Mousesports or if it was Luminosity on Train who sent one person into A with a Glock. But a P250 is always nice.
Bosh. That doesn't look nearly as pretty.
P250s on pistol round. It's been my campaign for most of this year, I think.
For your entire life, when you were born. It's been your campaign since then, James. Got 2 P250s on Mixwell and Alu. They are blinded. You can see it on the HUDs, on the sidebars there. Also, obviously, it shows if your player is also under effect of a Molotov or whatever it is. It's display there on the health bar. And also, if there are frags, of which there are 2, the knife. What? What? Oh, okay. Well, Chris can save this situation. There's no Kevlar, so the worst has happened. But, well, I say the worst, almost the worst. Depends if they lose the round or not. Chris is definitely in a position to save the day, save the round, save the embarrassment of his teammates as he goes for the clutch here. He's got a Molotov as well. Well, there's no romance here, James. It's only war. No parlays. No other fanciful French words. Got any other fanciful French words?
I'll go back to that. I can't think of anything right now.
Fromage.
Fromage. Omelette du fromage. Well, Alu is creeping up into the wrong position as he takes one in the face. 2-0 Mousesports. They've got the start they wanted. Optic Gaming on the back foot. In map score, on the back foot on the map.
Oh my god. That is ridiculous. That was the first frag as well. That's pretty awesome. I mean, that's a pretty big deal because that's $1,500 you get as a reward from the knife. So considering that Optic are on the back foot, that money will help significantly later on. Well. Got the anti-eco. Who does not love an anti-eco? On this map, it's very tense if you go A-yard because there's so many corners to hide behind. You can see there it is. Sunny he's exposed from so many positions. Like where are you getting shot from? He didn't even get time to figure it out, and now a second frag, a Galil collected.
It's a difficult spot for Sunny though. He's on top of a train, exposed to much of the site on his own, with not much else going on apart from one of his teammates holding an angle to stop a flank. So perhaps a questionable approach. Chris J and Oscar trying to clean things up and doing a job of it at the moment. Chris J creating some space for his teammate, but Oscar's looking for a flank as opposed to anything else. Not going to focus on getting the bomb down, focus on thinning the numbers, but won't happen this time. Optic are on the scoreboard, and there's Mixwell with the AWP. HS could have dropped the AWP, and just for a slightly better spread of money, but it's all good. Mixwell has most of his grenades. He's got full armor. HS, though, is not going to buy a helmet. He's got 2,700 in the bank, and he's not buying a helmet in a round where his opponents have only pistols. That could prove to be a mistake. No need to be cheap. This must be a mistake, because look at the range he's playing from as well. This is not a situation you need to be in, especially when you've got a knife kill and you haven't dropped for a teammate.
I'm just still, thinking about how messy this has been for Mousesports. They should not be in this position. They should never be in this position. Their anti-ecos, frankly, sucked. And you cannot be giving away rounds like that against a team like Optic, or just anyone in a tournament setting at all. I mean, you could see that if you go back to the anti-eco, they walked, I think who did they walk in first? Was it Sunny? I think it was Sunny, they walked in first. It goes up on the ladder, it gets shot from 2 different locations.
There we go, helmet's coming.
And there's like no trade, nothing. Then another player sort of just sitting in Pop Dog by himself gets killed as well. It just seemed very half-hearted, so that has to change. we have a timeout?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
It's at the top of the screen, you see.
Oh, right, yes.
Tactical timeout. 3 remain.
So perhaps they are discussing that. Like, guys, lads, let's clean this up. Let's clean this up.
Just nerding out some more, because I like to nerd out on Counter-Strike. HS didn't take any Kevlar damage in that round, so he did eventually get the helmet for $350 at the end. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Marvelous stuff. 2-2. Both teams on the bye. Oscar with the AWP hasn't got the most spectacular spawn in the world, but no one's really blocking him at the moment. But he's not going towards me. He's going elsewhere, and it's Chris J, who said he is notorious and nefarious in that position. Magisk saved by the box. Oscar often delivers the shot, but not always a fatal kill. There's not much utility left here for Mousesports, so we may see a quick breach from them, or at least an attempt.
Ooh. Good timing on them Molotov almost. Jisk, wow, I don't think a single bullet connected, at least it felt like that. And Mousesports' explosive maneuver will pan out. I do like those fast plays in the upper position onto B, and it's really crushed Optic. They were not able to get those initial shots connected. You know, it really comes down to Magisk getting in 1 or 2. And this, frankly, did not happen. Frankly. I wonder where that came from, frankly.
To be frank.
To be frank. But who is Frank, James?
Frankly, I don't know.
Well, 3-2. Mousesports with some... I mean, to be honest, you know, if you consider how sloppy the previous rounds were from them, you know, they survived with 4 players this time, so that's really nice for them. That's going to help them in the future should they should things go awry. And now it's a question of dealing with double AWPs. I mean, we got Mixwell and Alu picking those up. Now, I would be interested to see the approach here for Mousesports, because they may not understand that double AWPs are at play. They're going to have to get that recon first. And that's pretty dangerous. That's like one of the strengths of double AWPs. And sometimes teams pick it up just to surprise their opponents on other maps where it's otherwise suboptimal. But this is a map where it is just generally fairly optimal if you play it well. Very, very important position played by HS, and a position in which he has no support in this round. That pop dog area. Mousesports looking to go explosively with grenades into B. This could be a great call against a double AWP.
Magisk dropping the Molotov, but the T's have breached already. One player on default. Going beyond, that's Chris J. He comes and he goes. Magisk boy taken down in the meantime. Mixwell's got 2 to find in the smoke. One's made his way to the low ground. Not sure if he was spotted by Mixwell as he deployed the flashbang. So we may see a close quarters shot from Robson. Indeed we will, but will he see the second player up there? I think he may have heard him. 2 CTs at the back of the site. Slowly, HS coming in for the flank. He's been punished in previous rounds for it, so that may slow his approach, and that will leave Alu exposed. Alu needs to fear the double peek. HS does get taken down in the meantime, leaving Alu alone, 1 versus 3. He can't really commit to this. He needs to make his exit. He'll take Rops with him, but you see there's already a player in the pop dog area. That's Oscar, and nothing will be saved by Optic in this round.
That was such a great call. Just, you know, just going for a straight-up set piece and no messing around. Again, I don't know how likely it was that Mousesports understood that there was double AWP, but essentially that's a great round to play against a double AWP. So now there's anti-eco time. I would love to see a much cleaner anti-eco round. This is really the biggest leak that we've seen on this map from Mousesports so far today. So let's see a fix.
Yeah, this will be a hard round to lose because it is an eco as opposed to a force buy from the CT, so they're not that dangerous with the USP.
No!
As evidenced by Rops' cleanup, padding the statistics, and that's the end of the round. Nice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everyone's dead. So fast. I did wonder, like, if Rops would like expect that to be like continually dropping players, because like the second guy, like, okay, you know, you probably expect that, but then just they're too late.
Why is there no Lemmings games on iOS?
I was just about to mention Lemmings.
Where are the Lemmings games at? 2-5. Optic with a buy which is crap in terms of utility, but at least they have smoke grenades. Limited on flashes though, so if they want to go for Ivy pushes and the like, they don't really have much to do it with. 4 players will begin on the A sites as per usual. Magisk alone on B won't be going for the shoulder peak to see when players move in to the lower area. So perhaps at a certain time on the clock, a second player may join him. Again, Optic, hard for them to make information plays to take forward aggressions because they just don't really have much of anything.
So you see that the same round run as they did against the double orbs. This time only one orb, but just doing a better job, just getting a frag, falling back behind the smoke, keeping himself alive, sort of making it difficult and slowing down any potential advancement of these Ts. And that's the goal, that's the name of the game. If you want to take this bomb site successfully, you've got to shut down the choke points as a terrorist side, and they've been unable to do so. So now it just comes down to hitting some incredible shots. Chris J putting himself in position to do so, but can't cover everything, and Ali will take advantage.
HS has the unenviable job of trying to flank once again, and Rops is waiting for him, though, with the man deficit. Rops has got more than one job to do, but again, he's going to take HS down. 2-on-1, Rops is on the high ground. There is a smoke there, which might obscure his vision, but there is the money Molotov, and it was Magisk trying to defuse the bomb with 11 HP. He didn't have a kit anyway, and he will have to run, turn tail and hide, try and get away from that bomb blast. I feel so bad for HS because every time the B bomb site gets taken, he's the lone man who has to try and make his way through Pop Dog, and every single time the duel is won by the T side.
Except James, that one round where he got the knife frag from it.
Yeah, except that first time.
Except that one time. Maybe
just
he
used all his good luck.
Exactly, yeah. That was pretty nice from Oscar there. I thought he was 100% dead. Not 99% dead, James, but 100% dead.
Kill him until he's dead. 4-round lead now. Still early days here on Train, but it is looking difficult indeed. HS with the MP9. Not the worst weapon to be using at close range, but of course HS is going to get wrecked by Rops once more.
Oh man. That's a really important frag. Again, like, one of the most important things if you want to hit outside is winning the Pop Dog position. You really have to, because it's one of the best ways the CTs can stagger your offense. And that's really the name of the game on the CT side. Stagger the offense so you can affect that you don't get wrapped too hard. And Mixwell, you can see he's pushed up in that position, understanding the importance. And he's trying to do the job of 2 players right now, and he's not doing too bad of a job of it, sneaking through the smoke. Big risk, but you couldn't say that it definitely paid off. Even though his team is down a man. More information for them. Close, but no cigar.
Magisk Boy, however, is the snake in the grass. Can he stop the bomb from going down? Looking for a trade fragger first, but just as he turns, he will get turned away, spun out of this round. I was going to say before that main push came in that I think Optic, they don't really have the money, and maybe they will in the next round, but I think, excuse me, I think they could benefit from a main push or something. They need to. I feel like they need to take some map control away from Mousesports and force Mousesports to spend time being afraid of exactly being afraid of what Optic might be doing, of trying to regain things that they may feel should rightfully be theirs. Because right now Mousesports are having a field day. They've got the magnifying glasses out and they're burning the ants.
That is very obscure. Nicely defended by Mousesports. And yes, keeping the pressure on is a must when you're on that CT side. And again, like, Mousesports have found really good timings to go for their B plays. Generally speaking, those rounds where they just walk into secret and then just set up all the nades. They've actually picked like the perfect round every time for that. So you got to give credit to Mousesports for that. And this is pretty clean. So after the early shenanigans and perhaps disappointing situations where Mousesports' economy was ruined by poor anti-ecos and then an immediate reset after a round loss, it has stabilized very well for them. You can see that their money is growing. It's growing like Bitcoin right now, James.
I wonder what the biggest fly in the world is. Aren't you curious?
No.
At what point do you go from flies to birds? I need to know. I need answers to these questions.
One is an insect, and one is... I mean, I don't know, man.
Somebody tell me, what is the biggest fly in the world? Can Optic launch Mousesports into the sky, Dan? Because finally, they have a good buy. They've had lots of crap buys. They've had rifles, but they've had no grenades. They've had SMGs. They've had pistols, CZs. Finally, they have a good buy. Although, okay, the buy, they still have crap grenades in fairness, but they have got 2 AWPs. So I guess one option would have been to go for one rifle, one sniper and more utility, maybe go for an aggressive play, maybe take some map control, but they've gone for the 2 snipers instead. And they've got a lot less utility, which I suppose makes... I mean, they could have more if they spent less in the previous round. So that is a question because... Well, let's see what they choose to do. Let's see how they choose to stop Mousesports. It seems duels and shots will be the order of the day. But there is some aggression, some pop flashes. And Magisk will allow Alu to get into position. But there we go. Rops, he landed a shot, I think, just above Alu's head. But it is the early kill for Optic Gaming.
See how far that goes for them. Mousesports pushed into a position where they are going to just have to run a set piece straight into the B-bomb site. It's been successful in the past, but with 5. But again, the double ops, they will be hard to sort of have an immediate response if this works out well for the Mousesports side, and indeed it will. Magisk gets taken down immediately. That just could not happen. But still, Alu's out on the yard. He might have some channels with which to use to get some sort of fragging for his team. And indeed, there it is. Headshot onto Oscar. Trades coming in, though, but favoring Optic. They are winning on the numbers at the moment. Sunny pushing connector, but traded out. Down to Stiko now. Or Styko, if you're Byron, our voiceover guy. Here he is. Looking for that first frag. The info's there. The flick is there as well. Down to 9 HP. Forced forwards. Can he get the drop on his opponent? No. It's Freiburg to save the day. Doesn't have too much time here. Can't really mess around. Yorp is on the bomb as well. That's very that's handy. That is very handy.
Yeah, but where's the money for Optic? Where is the money? Look at that. Look at the Mousesports money versus the Optic money. Optic are going to get fisted in this round. It is going to be unpretty, to say the least. Surviving with 1 player is simply not enough, Dan. It's simply not enough.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone say unpretty before, so congrats.
Haven't you heard the TLC song?
No.
Really?
Don't think so.
Where have you been?
On a computer, James, playing video games.
Somebody link Dan to the unpretty song. Cheers. Well then, after winning a round, they are down to 2 French guns and a Mag 7. The Mag 7 is viable though, but I mean, Mixwell has the Mag 7, and where is Mixwell? He is... Okay, so Mixwell should have the FAMAS, and HS should have the Mag 7 and be in Pop Dog. I think that is a play that needs to be made. Chris J with some intermittent bursting, trying to catch Freiburg as he tries to escape this position, but is Freiburg brazen enough to stay there? No, he will get out of there eventually. Yeah, I mean, some people, well, back in the day would legit buy a Mag 7 for Pop Dog.
Mag 7's great.
In the right position, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very, very viable. But look at Rops. He has just found his way into that B-bomb site by himself. His teammates make the play off the back of his success, and his success will continue. The momentum will be there for Rops, turning money into more money. That's what Rops is doing right now as HS with his gorgeous hair. He's been on that Farrah Fawcett spray, James.
2 on 2 as the bomb gets planted. Default on B. Mixwell moving towards CT spawn, and Ali may get caught out. Okay, the USP will defeat the AK, and there's only a few places Sonny can really be in this situation. No kit on these players, couldn't afford it. They were broke from the problems they had. So this is going to be a hard round. Where is Sonny? Clock is really ticking. Now it's down to the 1 versus 1. And he may try to peek as Alu touches the bomb. I think that was the intention there, but the smoke is down. Alu trying to bait Sonny out, but he hasn't heard the beep beep. And Alu's keys were in a Jeep as he makes his way out of the B bomb site. Another round in the bag for Mousesports.
It's going really well for Mousesports so far. Oh, did that just say kisses? Fair enough. Okay, Rops was absolutely beast in this round, and that's really cool because he looks very menacing in his in the mask. But it's really cool. I think if you look at a team like Envious, RPK is that guy. You know, there's going to be one round where they sort of have a read as to how the defenders are playing that bomb site, and they may just go for a bit of a poke and then see, okay, there's one opportunity, there's no one here, keep pushing it. One opportunity leads to the next, and all of a sudden there's two. He's got 2 frags, and he's that connector. And that's amazing because you may have had a plan for the round, but sometimes a player like Rops can just give you a huge advantage and an easy entrance. So 9-3 is the result, and a pretty suspect buy from Optic. They've got an AWP, sure, but backed up by what? UMP, MP9, 2CZs, almost no utility. It's not a good look, but they will be taking some risks here. 2-man push towards the inner area. Oh, that's a good flick from Value, but the trades are only good for 1. 3 versus 3, but the bomb site should be in the hands of Mousesports.
Oscar in position, but there's a smoke down, so perhaps it's a channel for the CTs to make their way into the site. Oscar will cross. He's still seeking those, carrying the bomb, but he realizes his position is important, and he'll try to do the best he can to hold it. Throwing the bomb down to a teammate so he can continue to hold these angles. But he's got to be careful because Freiberg is coming in from the right-hand side, moving towards the upper area, and that will leave Oscar exposed, missing the shot. Rare miss from him. He's got most of his health, though. 3-on-3, and Mixwell still making his way in from the A site.
Looking pretty solid right now. Although a couple of shots for Oscar, he's going to connect the ones that matter, that counts. Almost said mounts. The ones that mounts.
I guess in a way he is mounting his teammates with these shots. You could make it work, metaphor, somehow.
It's always funny when your brain sort of does that thing where it like combines 2 different words. It's funny. I imagine there is a word for that. There's usually a word for things like that, isn't there? I love that there's a word for the fact that there is no words for something. Something is ineffable if there's no words for it. I love the irony. Anyway, enough about irony and words. Back to guns and Counter-Strike. Sonny pushing towards Olafmeister there. Offered up an opportunity there, but unable to capitalize. Steeko able to get the frag, and the Molotov's going to force a frag onto HS. Beautiful follow-up. I love the Steeko actually finished that play with the spray behind the Molotov. Very smart. And now it's 3v3 again. But look at the positioning for Mousesports. They've got all this space to play with.
Steeko with a wild peek. Didn't know quite where to look, though. This could be an important 4th round for Optic. A crucial 4th round. But Oscar is still alive, and he's waiting for CT to seek information. And I was going to say he might get his wish because Freiberg's just emerged from Connector. Definitely didn't want that gun to hit the ground, but I don't think Ali was necessarily close enough to hear it. So Chris J, since he's low health, he will carry the AWP. But if only Oscar had held the angle. Maybe it's a... Ooh. Yes, Chris J spotted Alu. Maybe Alu was 4x3. Didn't see Chris J. And that's an opening for the T side. And now suddenly that 4th round may be a myth.
Oh man, Magisk. What can he do from this position? He does have an unknown angle so far as far as the Mousesports players are concerned, but he needs to really make this surprise count. There's some information, goes for the frag straight away, doesn't want to wait. Where is the next player though? Tapping the bomb. Time is of the essence. Magiski does not have a kit, which will prove problematic, and it's an easy frag for Chris J, as he will lead his team into a significant advantage into the end of this first half. 11-3, what a scoreline. They look so good today, James. But that said, we've only seen them on 2 maps, so.
Yeah, and that makes the previous match practice, more or less, for this one. Exactly the same maps. Chris J loving life at the moment. Optic Gaming writhing in pain. Their CT side has been marred by poverty. And it continues in such a fashion. It makes so many situations bad. It makes duels bad, it makes aggression bad, it makes trying to defuse the bomb without kit bad. Everything's bad.
C'est très difficile. Rob's looking to get that play again. We talked about this previously. If he can, like, if he feels as though there's an opening, he will just walk out. And here we go. Walking out, takes the 1v1. Actually, looked pretty good for that. Stico can't get the trade just yet. Follows it up, and Magis wins that one as well. That's a really big 2K from Magis. He's not had really many impactful plays towards B, but this is the first one. And it is the last rounds, so better late than never, I suppose. But now the force of this A play from Mousesports might be a little bit cumbersome, but it could work out if Chris is on point on his first couple of shots. Just trying to clear out Ali. They do have time to do this. The flank coming from team main. That could be an issue. Oscar's looking for it, though. If he gets this kill, that's big. Oh, it's going to be a little bit awkward, but he does do it. And Chris, with his one tap. Oh, dear.
But that's the bomb. No, it's not. No, it's not the bomb. Chris J's got the bomb, and now he knows where HS is. He can plant immediately. He may have a fair idea that HS has not made his way towards E-box or beyond. But does he hear the running? I think HS is like walking now. Oh, he's going to back it up straight. Oh, this is going to be so tight. But there it is. The first bullet is enough for a 12-3 half. And as you can see, Mousesports are pretty chilled out. Stico very focused on the rest of the task. It's not over just yet. While it's a good half, comebacks are always possible. The bro fists have been deployed, and it's time for the second half.
Oh man, I did not notice that frag. There's one taps from Chris, really good. Loving the look of the sombrero on Chris. He should take one home. But it is back to the beanie. The beanie means business. The business beanie for Chris J as they look to close.
It's a Dust 2 beanie.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that. That's awesome. Well, that's actually quite fitting because, of course, for those that don't know, weren't around, back in the old Dust 2 days, Chris J was imperious. He was known for that, prolific with that scout. But enough about scouts. We've got headshots for days as the Mousesports side take massive advantages.
Got to be patient with the USP, and he was, but didn't manage to get more out of it on this occasion. The bomb is very far away. The bomb is lost. It's in isolation. It is firmly in the hands of the government in the facility. And Optic don't have the right ID.
All the patience for all the paperwork to get it back. Mousesports holding. Discipline exerted from them. If they get this pistol round, it's so huge for them. They can just close the game down. Likewise for Optic, they need this round. It has to work for them. It needs to work. They have to get this. There's no other result that can really be good for them. Optic, though, they'll lose it. Mousesports, their discipline pays off. Sunny with the double. And now Optic are in a horrible position. They can afford to save once if they want to, and then have a crap buy in the following round, or they can just force for the rest of the rounds. There is nothing for Optic that is good right now. There is zero good.
Even the plant up there sucks. Look at it. That thing hasn't seen daylight for a while, since it was a boy or a girl. Do plants have sex? I mean sexes. Not like, you know.
This is a bit
Never mind.
A train wreck from you.
Before we go there,
you
right?
Thank you for the people.
Thank you for the people who tweeted me about the biggest fly in the world, which is called Midas.
Really?
MYDAS. It's just massive black thing.
Jeez.
With red.
That's just disgusting.
Singing imajiggies. I retweeted it. Cheers for that.
But I think, yeah, I think they can. They do have.
It's a big ass fly, man.
They do have sexes in so far as their reproduction.
I mean, like this plant up here, like that crappy plant there. Like, is that plant like a dude plant? Is it a chick plant, or is it just a plant?
Just a.
I don't know, man. Anyway, Rops with a nice angle. You got to stay tight to the entrance to help yourself avoid flashbangs, should there be any. And he will make good use of that. He will use and abuse these angles and the cleanup from Sunny. He's got the chlorine on the floor. And Optic are getting mopped into the drain, into the gutter, into the sewage.
Dude plants.
Dude plants, bro plants. Are we close to the end of this match? I wonder. See the dust too on his head.
You gotta say on his face.
On his face.
on his face. D4. Well, there's no nades for Optic. They got 2 nades, James. Surely one person could have bought a UMP. Surely someone, even a Galil, just to have an extra flash and a smoke. But no, everyone wants AKs, and maybe that's going to work for them because they're out in the yard, they're taking the aim battles, and success has been had. But will it continue? We got the smoke down for the bomb plant, but there's no bomb plant. Seiko is wondering what the hell's going on. Random spray to catch him, but Oscar bursting out, perfect timing, but can't get the fatal connection. It's Magisk to finish it all off for Optic, but there's such a long road to go. It's like Lord of the Rings here for Optic now, that trek all the way to Mount Doom.
Is that what it's called?
Well, yeah, they throw the ring into the Mount Doom, right? Into the heart of Mount Doom.
Oh, I didn't even know. I thought it was just a place. I didn't know it had a name.
Mount Doom. Well, it has to have a generic fantasy name like Mount Doom. Mount Doom.
I thought that eye was awesome. The eye was the best thing. Mount Doom. I could have done better than that.
Oh,
that's a bad miss.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Tolkien did write that a long time ago, so it's probably original back then.
Mount Doom.
You're questioning. I'm actually questioning whether I'm even correct now. I'm pretty sure I am, but I hope I just did not make that up. Just peddle it as truth. This is definitely true, everyone. Okay.
Well, Optic, they're in a good position as far as this round is concerned, because there's not much going on for Mousesports. They are receiving a taste of their own medicine, and the medicine is bitter. The medicine is disgusting. The medicine may not even be medicine. Maybe an old wives' tale, but Oscar rejects your medicine. He wants none of it. He will deal some medicine of his own. Oh, look at the angle he's got. The gap in the smoke is enough for Magics to go down. That's very unfortunate for him. Oh, was the smoke on the other side? Either way, there was sight for Oscar.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oscar can't really miss these shots now, and he will get taken down. What's all this talk of medicine, James? You on that homeopathy hype?
Hell no.
No?
No. I don't do medicine, I just walk it off.
Medicine is not for you.
That's why I had severe asthma issues the last few months. Yeah, it'll go away if I just don't take any of my steroid pumps. It'll be fine.
I prescribe medicine for my, my condition.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. 9-round lead for Mousesports. It is shortening round by round, but there is much for Optic to do, and they must remain focused. Now, Mixwell in this situation will be a bait. You see Freiberg is holding the angle. Mixwell is inviting company. He's got the party, he's got the cocktail sausages out, and there is Freiberg. No sausages for you. Swiftly pulling the plate away and leaving Oscar with an empty table and one of those plastic garden chairs that's been out in the rain and still has a bit of, like,
sludge,
dirty water in it with a bit of, like, weird soil or something.
Sludgy chair.
I wouldn't go as far as sludge. It doesn't have that kind of consistency. But it's watery with some soil. Some kills coming in here for the CT side. But perhaps they've come to the end of the road. The lights are red. Optic move forward. They're in a police car. They've got the sirens on. They can do what they want.
Ooh, nice. We get the Krieg. Oh, he's dropping the Krieg. HS, I guess. Oh, he's going to pick it up. Oh, yeah, Magisk gives the thing as a Magisk thing, wasn't it? For the longest time. Magisk, one of the few Krieg users. I like the Krieg. It's pretty awesome.
I like the Krieg. When I'm not tired.
It's awesome.
The Krieg is fun.
The Krieg.
Frackle. Congratulations for your 2,000 Faceit points. You can change your name to Brackle now. Go from Frackle to Brackle. Yeah. Production are cussing me out for my inspired name ideas. That's the best I could do. Where can you go with Frackle? Really? I don't know.
Anywhere else other than that, I suppose. Oscar's ready. He's ready and waiting. And he's dead now. He's very... didn't really work out. But Rops is there. Maybe Rops can do what he could not. Well, yes, he can. He gets a double for his trouble. And Chris J and Steeko, the only men left, but they are doing a decent enough job here. Steeko gets a kill, and this could create an opening here for Chris J. He's going to make his way up in the upper positions. This is really good because look how the high ground, the elevation, provides him a vantage point to spot out every position that they could possibly be standing in. Now he's deduced where at least one of the two players is, and he's going to confirm it by using his gun to shoot him in the face. But the problem now is that HS is ready and waiting as well. And that will be the round for Optic. So they've made it past the Shard, James. They're halfway to Mordor, but not anywhere close to Mount Doom yet.
I don't know the names of these anime places, Dan.
Anime, it's Tolkien! It's bloody Tolkien, isn't it?
This is great
Lord
positioning.
Of the bloody Rings.
This is great positioning from HS. There's no way Chris J sees him on the rotation. He really put himself in a strong position to shut it down, as long as his aim is on point. And his aim was on point there. So, what is that one? Erdbauer Baum. Congratulations to
Who are you?
To you, Erdbauer Baum. Not bad, not bad.
Your nerding is definitely restricted to just Counter-Strike, isn't it? It's just only...
I don't watch anime.
Oh my god. If you're also...
That's Launders.
If you're
we should have
also...
brought Launders. I'm sorry to Launders that we didn't bring him to Cancun. We should have. But he's the anime boy, so you go and talk to Launders.
If you're also triggered by James, please tweet at him. Right, well, Mixwell looking to defend here. And a knife attempt. I respect that. I respect that.
Value play.
It's not going to happen, though. Almost 8 rounds here now for Optic. The ascent is there, but again, eventually, you know, the gap is like right now. Obviously, the gap is like 7 rounds. You know, soon to be 6, and that's still a big gap. But eventually, you know, they get to 10 rounds. You start to think, hang on, this is kind of happening right now, and they have that buffer of, you know, being able to lose at least 1 round and to be able to force overtime. So we cannot really count out Optic, especially considering how one-sided things have looked. You know, previously we saw Mousesports get, you know, they went down 7-2 against Luminosity. And so we can't get too carried away here, James.
I feel like if they were to lose 1 round, I feel like 14-11 or 14-12 would be the best time to do it, because then if they reset, it'll be really hard for Mousesports to defend. And Rob's made he made a lot of money just then.
He did, yes.
He made a lot of monies. But I mean, their loss bonus gives them lots of money anyway, so it's kind of inconsequential for the time being, but perhaps it will have a role to play in a future round. 2 snipers coming out for the Mousesports side. Maybe they'll put a stop to the carousel. They'll turn off the... what else is in Fairgrounds? Carousel. What's the spinning spot? They'll turn off the spinning cup machine, spinning cups. They'll turn them off and throw the kids out.
Scam artists.
And they'll tell the mothers that their children are ugly.
Con men. That's what's in Fairgrounds, James. Don't you forget it.
Okay. Oh dear. I don't know if that means you've been scammed in a fairground, or if you're the guy who's like trying to take sweets and money from small children.
They're really easy to trick, James.
On the teacup ride.
They're easy to, you know, take money from. So it's going to be really interesting now to see whether these double offs will be a good response. Sonny, again, like this position is so incredibly important for the CT side to hold on to this, and he has support too. And one of the reasons is because, you know, if a team doesn't have any alley pressure, then that is the ideal place to have a CT setup. But then that's the purpose of the alley pressure. Pull the CT presence backwards. We can see that's happening right now. Alu, though, that positioning, absolutely, well, it's very strong, let's put it that way. He's going to be able to get a kill, destabilizes the defense. Stiko has to look everywhere at once, and eventually gets traded out. Surely not for Robs. I mean, he's now known in this position. Smoked away, perhaps. Or maybe not. Baited.
So maybe Robs buys something in this round. Let's see. He's got 60. So it's interesting. 2 of them could buy like a rifle and no helmet and still have. They should be at max loss bonus, right? So they could buy like a rifle and Kevlar and still buy with their team in the next round. So maybe dependent on spawn. Like Oscar, they're both their spawns suck. I mean, Robs could go upper. Or are they going to buy together? So it's tactical timeouts at the moment. So you're watching this, I'm looking at the game screen. Robs has got 6,000, Oscar's got 6.5. And it seems they're going to basically go for a force buy, which is quite reasonable. They'll still get the 2 AWPs out of it. So I think if you've got like crap around 2 AWPs, then you could be okay. And the crap is they're lacking utility. They've got double FAMAS. They've got 4 flashbangs. But this is a more than reasonable buy.
It's respectable. Respect can be had.
Glass is being broken. One statistic we don't have is how many panes of glass you have broken. I was a keen player of Office. Well, I am a keen player of Office and Agency as well. So I want to know how many panes of glass I've broken.
How much money you've cost the I don't know, whoever owns the office.
I forget what the name of the office is on the outside.
It's always snowy. That's what I remember. Anyway, Robs. Nice timely peek. That's the bomb. The repositioning there, very important. Able to almost get the second frag. Vixor down to 3. His teammates in for the trade frags. Goes very well here. And he nades in. Ooh, that was... Whoa, that was very close. I think that was blocked by just the lip of the train there. If trains have lips, I don't know. Stiko. Ooh, I think... Was that a team flash? That was almost a good flash. But it just blinded Stiko. In fact, the flash was not even necessary, unfortunately. But that's how it goes sometimes. So this has had some success, and again, now 10 to 14, and you start to wonder.
You realize I can say anything I want now because you just said, "Do trains have lips?" So I don't care what I said about
well, you
plants,
already taught. Yeah, I was going to say
flies.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter what I say. Do trains have lips? Tweet Dan with a yes or a no. Well, somebody fell to the blast, but Majestic is still alive with the AWP. And the money is somewhat tight for Optic, despite the fact that they're winning the rounds. Some of these rounds have been expensive. They don't want to get to the point where they're winning the rounds but kind of broke and can't really field a strong buy to continue to shut down this Mousesports side. So Mousesports having forced in the previous round. This will be an eco round from them, but they have an AWP. They all have Kevlar. Again, there is money to be spent in these rounds when you reach the point of maximum loss bonus. And will they spend? Yes, they will. Bunch of grenades. They've got the UMP on Rops and some pistols on Stiko and Sunny. Stock pistol for Chris J. Even if he survived the last round, threw everything away, he would still spawn with this gun regardless.
Uh-oh. Stiko has... Yeah, and he's got a teammate there with him. They can push this position and take it away. Already with the frag, the smoke as well. This starts to get actually a little bit terrifying for Optic because the natural thing to want to do, I think, in this position for Optic is to just play slow, wait out the smokes. Oh. But they push. That is really important. Not allowing their pace to be slowed by the offensive plays of Mousesports, which is really, really important. That's how, like, if you're playing scared in these rounds, which happens too commonly to teams, you can get really exploited. But I like that Optic were not playing scared.
We needed those main takes from Optic on their CT side.
Yeah.
Where were they? I think it would have changed the pace, if nothing else, at least for a time. 44 seconds remain, 4 on 4. It was 1, 2, 3, and 4. Magisk moving up the Ivy position, which has been abandoned by the CT side, and Mousesports appear to be wondering if it's going to be B. They don't have info there. They're not seeing much in main. There are 3 people in the B bomb site. There's not much to defend the A site with at all. In fact, there's nothing. And now Optic start to move in from main, from Pop, from Ivy.
Yeah, it's just going to save, I think. Now they got the AWP to protect. And the UMP not worth throwing away either with the Kevlars and so on. So, yeah, Optic. That's how many rounds in a row is it now, actually? Do we know this? It's a lot of rounds in a row, James.
Wasn't it like, was it 12-3 half?
I think so.
I think it was 12-3.
So I think it's at least been six or 7 rounds in a row now. Maybe 7 rounds in a row, I think. I would say. Let's get 8 after this round, we hear from production. Yes, so that is a large degree of success.
Slide into my pop.
And then what, James? What after that?
Then get shot in the face, Dan. 3 rounds now between these 2 teams. Where is victory for Mousesports? It is not a familiar feeling anymore. But they're back on the buy.
Hello.
They're back on the buy. That's so sick. It's like some kind of villain reveal
Yeah,
he's taking his mask off, and here he is with his glorious hair. What's not glorious, though, is the Mousesports situation as far as momentum and success has gone. All things which have faded to black. They are, however, on the buy once again with 2 AWPs. Once again, Rob's going aggressive towards B, but maybe he had loads of feet. Time to run away. Sunny's been picked off elsewhere. Chris J must deliver. Crouch peek from Mixwell. Isn't going to be successful. Can't get a second kill. Got to buy time for his team, but he can't. Can't buy much. 4 versus 2. This round may already be over.
Yep. Again, they're probably encouraged to go for a save. If they save with 2 guys, especially, you know, like the AWP is the biggest difference because they got max loss bonus. So Robs can drop, Oscar can drop, but if they actually lose this AWP, there is no way they can rebuy it, I don't think. So that's a pretty big deal to just effectively save. And you never necessarily want to just go immediately into like the deepest save positions possible. You want to try to create a spot where you take a fight like Oscar just did, you get a frag, now they have to start moving slowly, check every single angle, and you buy yourself so much time. In Tier 1 CS, you can pretty much never get anywhere unless you are applying pressure. Pretty much every play requires some amount of pressure. So we see that initially there as they go and save successfully. So
loads of people are tilted because I said that Lord of the Rings
yeah, I know.
was anime.
I knew that would. I mean, I was pretty tilted, man. I knew you'd do it just to like trigger everyone.
Oh yes.
Such a bait.
Tactical timeout from Mousesports. So we see the coach talking and everybody listening intently. Hopefully he can help Chris J find success on the server.
Where's HS? I want to see that Farrah Fawcett spray hair.
2 AWPs for the CT side. Stico will be reduced to the FAMAS and the remaining 2 of M4s. That is glorious, isn't it?
You didn't get the reference. I'm doing a pop culture reference.
You said it's like the C, right? I would say it's like who's that Japanese artist who did the waves?
Who's that Japanese guy that did waves?
I actually bought the print of it, but I can't remember what his name.
Specific.
He also did the Dream of the Fisherman's Wife, which I don't particularly recommend. 12-14 Optic, only 2 rounds away now. And I think at this point you really get super focused because you've come all this way and you feel like, yes, I deserve this. I deserve this.
Someone tweet James the Farrah Fawcett hairspray reference so he gets that. Chris actually having some trouble in the previous round, effectively using that open to 4 position. Did get the 1 frag, but shut down immediately. And it's a spot where you usually would see him get a bit more from that. So the confidence now from Optic is absolutely paying off in some of these rounds, and they're playing pretty slow here. I do wonder what they'll try to do here. Again, you know, I put the emphasis about, you know, taking control of Pop Dog. If their approach is to actually go for the A play, you kind of want to take Pop Dog. But at the same time, if you clear Pop Dog, then that becomes something that your opponents might predict. So you might want to cut noise, play it slow after that. There's lots of mind games going on around the meta and what is expected. So deep on the yard here, Mousesports. Ooh, Freiburg making a play, he goes down immediately.
Yeah, now things get really awkward with 2 AWPs, but they found the way to stream into the B bomb site, though the bomb carrier will be one of the last to make his way in. Robs was very close. He was an important player, but he goes down in stereo fashion with Chris J. There is a flank coming, and it seems Stico might have more success than HS did in the first half. Has he just about avoided Magis? No! The double pick coming in from low and high. HS going down elsewhere. 3 versus 2. What do Mousesports do? Sunny continues to move forwards. All the 3 Ts are at the back of the site. 2 AWPs, though. It's going to make it hard to stop this bomb from being defused because it's going to be really tight to hold these angles. Oh my god, this could be the round for Mousesports. It is. They find the defuse. And that tells you some of the problems that can be had when you have 2 AWPs on the T side. That is a sigh of relief towards the right corner of your screen there.
Carl, I said you actually did call Lord of the Rings anime. That is so amazing. Wow, sorry, just still laughing about that. This is definitely a round that they're going to lament. Like, after all the success that they've had, to have that happen is really crushing. You can't really allow that. And oh man, at least they had that. Like, they had a round where they could make a mistake. They can still force overtime. And again, we can't forget the fact that Optic have come back. How many rounds did they win in a row? Like, it was like 9, 10 rounds they won in a row. It was a lot. So
yeah, I did say this is more or less the perfect, if you are going to lose a round, this is probably the perfect time in which to lose it, because you are at a point where you decimate your opponent's economy. Although it could be worse if Mousesports lost this round. It could be worse than the money they are carrying, but you reset their loss bonus, and it's very hard for them to stop you tying the score. So you can still have a bright side, and I think if you're a coach, for example, then that's one way to keep your team focused. Is to say, like, this is the best round for us to lose. We still have opportunities, although maybe they're slipping away, with Magic's Boy getting picked off at close range by Chris J and Ivy.
Yeah, and that's important, you know, taking aggressions, not playing scared. We can't really emphasize that enough. Like, we have seen it from a lot of teams in the past. It's one of those things where you want to tighten up because you're like, oh god, if we make a mistake, we'll throw everything away. But you just have to take risks. That's what Counter-Strike is about. Luminosity were very good at that when they were playing down against Match Point, as well as when they're in advantage. And Optic forced into a set piece. This is predictable. This position has happened multiple times previous. Robs, this is a very good position to have right now, until the smoke goes away, obviously. But if he wins this fight, we understand what's going on. Oh my god, that was close. Oh, he falls back. The fadeaway second frag, can't get the third one, but maybe he's done enough.
38 seconds remain. And Mixwell's been left to do what he can. It's a gamble rotation, but Stiko is in position. He didn't commit Freiberg. How does he get that kill down the ladder? And the bomb will be in tow. But look at the repositioning. We've got Chris J. He is dashing towards the Ivy position. That cuts the site in half. And he is in position. But maybe Freiberg has spotted him. You'll see some of him. Freiberg going huge now. 1 versus 2, though. 16 seconds to get this bomb down. And the bomb is on the floor. He's got 9 bullets in his AK. It could barely be worse. There is the kill, but the flank is already there from Sunny. He's got to go for the desperation plant. Does Sunny pop out in time? He does. Does he see Freiberg? Not enough cover for Freiberg, and there is the game. There's the round. There is the match. Mousesports will 2-0 Optic, despite the late comeback from Optic on train.
Oh, almost made it happen there. Freiberg, what an effort. We saw, you know, previously that he has the most clutches in this ECS finals, but that is all going to come to an end now as